Stay tuned. Coming up on this episode, I explain how you gather two kinds of clues and cues, positive and negative. We'll explore the difference and explain why both are important in the formation of situational awareness. But first, let's pay the bills. Today's episode is sponsored by Midwest Fire. For more than 20 years, Midwest Fire has been manufacturing high-quality tankers, tanker pumpers, and fire rescue vehicles in the United States and Canada. Keeping firefighters safe while enhancing their capabilities is what they do best. To learn more, go to MidwestFire.com. Hello and welcome to episode 274 of the Situational Awareness Matters show. I'm your host, Rich Gassaway. The purpose of this program is to help to improve situational awareness and high-risk decision-making for individuals and teams who work in high-stress, high-consequence, time-compressed environments with changing conditions. The SAMatters mission is simple. We want to help you see the bad things coming in time to prevent bad outcomes. I'm coming to you today from my office in St. Paul, Minnesota, having just returned from delivering 2 days of situational awareness programs in Odessa, Texas for the Odessa Fire Department. This was my second visit to Odessa, so I really appreciate their faith and confidence in my message and inviting me back again. Today's feature segment is brought to you by SimsUshare. SimsUshare is a simple and affordable way to help you develop and practice situational awareness skills. You can quickly build sims from your photos to simulate almost any kind of incident, including active threat scenarios. And the new SimsUshare Command Training Center now lets you conduct multi-company drills over the internet, so you can even run drills while your companies stay in station. Check them out at SimsUshare.com. All right, let's jump into today's feature segment where I explain how to gather two kinds of clues and cues, positive and negative. We'll explore their differences and explain how both are important in the formation of situational awareness. As we train first responders to improve situational awareness, it's important that the lesson include a list of both positive and negative clues and cues. In the context of developing situational awareness, positive and negative does not mean good and bad. Rather, positive and negative mean present and absent. In the process of developing situational awareness, it all starts with perception. Or if you're a fan of Boyd's OODA loop, it's observation. Name calling aside, it all begins with capturing clues and cues in your environment and then processing those clues and cues into meaning something. The problem is some of the clues and cues aren't there. Really, they're not there. They're absent. You can't see them. You can't hear them. But nonetheless, they may be important. As important as any clue or cue that you can see or hear. Thus, situational awareness is formed based on what you see and hear, but also based on what you don't see and you don't hear. Positive clues and cues are the easiest to detect because they can be seen and heard. Understanding them, on the other hand, is a completely separate matter, and one that I've podcasted about and written about on my blog extensively. Notwithstanding the challenges of comprehension, it's relatively easy to train a responder on what to look and listen for at an emergency scene. At a fire scene, some of the positive clues and cues might be the smoke, flame, construction, how the building is weakening under the stress of fire, whether there's victims, wind. For a sick person, some of the clues or cues might be respirations and lung sounds, pulse, blood pressure, skin color and temperature, pupil size and reaction. These are all clues and cues that can be seen or heard. Negative clues and cues are much harder to detect and may be more difficult to comprehend their meaning, especially the first time they are encountered. Because negative clues and cues are not actually there, they can't be seen or heard. They can slip by the responder rather easily. One of the examples I like to share during the Flawed Situational Awareness program is to ask a young person in the room if sick kids cry. They always respond with the affirmative. Then I ask them if really sick kids cry harder. Again, they respond in the affirmative. Then I find a seasoned medical responder in the audience and I ask them if really sick kids cry. They always say no. Why? Because really sick kids, the ones that are on death's doorstep, they don't cry. This is a negative clue that means a lot to a medical care team. If a responder did not know better, they might be lulled into thinking that a kid who is quiet is not as sick as a kid who is crying. When it comes to identifying positive clues and cues, novices and experts are about evenly matched. Again, notwithstanding there may be some huge differences in the understanding of what those clues and cues mean, both are able to see and hear relatively the same things. However, when it comes to negative clues and cues, the expert's performance towers over the novice's performance. To be able to see and hear clues and cues that are absent requires a deep understanding of what clues and cues should be present but aren't. This requires expert knowledge. An expert can look at a situation and draw a completely different conclusion about what is happening and how bad the situation is simply by combining positive and negative clues and cues. What's even more amazing is the expert may be doing this subconsciously. That's right, the expert may be unaware that they are comparing the situation to what they have stored in memory as typical situations and identifying absent clues and cues that prime their recognition. Novice officers should be assigned a mentor and spend time shadowing an expert during critical incidents that require decisions. The mentor can ask the novice to identify the clues and cues and draw a conclusion. The expert can then either affirm the conclusion or refute it with the addition of negative clues and cues that the novice was unaware of. This can also be done in training scenarios and simulations using videos. When experts draw different conclusions than novices, the simple act of the novice asking how the expert drew their conclusion might leave the expert without really the ability to give a good answer. This is because the expert may be doing the processing of negative clues and cues subconsciously. It may be hard for the expert to bring to words how they know what they know. This unconscious knowledge, called tacit knowledge, is truly what separates the experts from the novices. An expert committed to sharing their knowledge will display patience and allow the novice to ask questions about how command decisions are made. Expert commanders don't think of these questions as defiance. They think of these questions as learning and mentoring opportunities. Here's some discussion questions for you. Identify and discuss some specific positive clues and cues for different types of emergencies that you encounter, like residential dwelling fires, motor vehicle accidents, etc. Discuss the same for negative clues and cues. Discuss some strategies for teaching and developing company officers and commanders how to identify both positive and negative clues and cues. Following emergency calls, discuss the positive and negative clues and cues that were captured and evaluated to help form situational awareness.
I think Rich's ability to connect with any crowd, that's a gift that he has, and it's easily transferable.
This is the second or third time that I've heard him speak. There's some teeth to the information that he brings.
It's been really good. Good mixes. He knows when to throw in a joke here and there to get you back involved.
Some tools. I'm a new lieutenant, so very, very interesting. And some of these things I can take back to the station and use with some of the new firefighters I have on my crew.
Something to get you thinking about your job more, big picture type stuff. I've seen them before. A good review for sure.
I have heard him before, yes. After he speaks, there's usually an enlightenment because now they're more aware of what's going on around them and what they're experiencing as they respond to calls.
He's very, very knowledgeable. I'm enjoying it so far.
And that intuition, that's a big one. The video that he just showed up here, we're getting a lot out of this. I think this is a really good seminar, especially for new people and old. But I think it's very informative. This talk gives us more ammunition to do all three.
They're relatable to what we have experienced or very well could experience, so he makes it easy to let the knowledge sink in.
I mean, it's awesome. A lot of stories you can usually relate to yourself and calls you have been on, aha moment. Like, he just helps you focus on picking out the right things. It's awesome. It's a refresher and keeps my eyes open. It's good stuff.
If people listen to the message that he has, it's an incredible message delivered by a very compassionate person. Strategy and tactics are going to always change. Situational awareness it doesn't change. It's always there.
He's got some good stories to tell, and he's very thorough with his stories, and it's interesting listening to him.
Very clear speaker, and he talks on our level because he's been there, he's been in the trenches. I think he's doing well, and I'm looking forward to the second half.
If you've been listening to these episodes over the last couple of months, you heard me mention this is our 5th anniversary year. That's a big deal, podcasting for 5 years, and I'm going to have a celebration. I'm going to do a giveaway. Well, I announced I was going to do a giveaway, but little did I know there are actually rules and laws you have to follow when you're doing a giveaway. And who knew? I didn't. In fact, can't even call it a giveaway because that's not a legal term. We have to call it a sweepstakes. So we're going to have a sweepstakes, and I'm learning a lot about how to have a sweepstakes, including rules and disclosures and all the things you've got to do if you're going to do it legally. And of course, I want to do it legally, which unfortunately means there's going to be a little bit of a delay in me doing the sweepstakes. But it's the 5th anniversary year, so I have the whole year. Just hang with me. We'll get it done and take care of all that stuff I would have rather have avoided, but I can't. Good news is the prize package continues to grow. It's worth over $2,000 now, so you're definitely going to want to get into the sweepstakes. The Situational Awareness Matters show was launched in 2014 with a purpose, to give a platform to those who've had near-miss events to share their stories. When I'm on the road delivering classes on situational awareness, I often ask attendees about their near-miss events that they've had, and they have shared some amazing stories. Those stories motivated me to launch this podcast in the first place. So those lessons could be shared with a bigger audience, you. The Situational Awareness Matters show, podcasted as SAMatters Radio, and our companion video program, SAMatters TV on YouTube, along with other video and audio content that I have posted, has enjoyed over 800,000 downloads. I'm so thankful for your support and feel so honored to be able to provide the platform for these amazing stories to be shared. If you like the show, please do me a solid favor and subscribe. It's easy and it's free. For the audio version, just search SAMatters Radio on iTunes, Google Play, Stitcher Radio, iHeartRadio. For the video version, subscribe to SAMatters TV on YouTube. And if you find value in the show, I really appreciate it if you'd give it a rating and write a review. Your ratings and reviews help others to find the show, but more importantly, your feedback inspires me to work even harder for you.
Real expectations, because SA matters.
Know your limit. Know your partner's limit, because SA matters.
Assumptions are bad. SA matters.
Proper PPE is important, because SA matters.
Flawed situational awareness is a really big deal. SA matters.
Know your water supply, because SA matters.
Bears and Cougars, SA matters.
Go versus no go, because SA matters.
Confidence is good. Overconfidence is bad. SA matters.
Buddies matter, because SA matters. SA matters. So don't get angry.
When the pigs are eating lemons, SA matters.
Our academy class is going home today because we know that SA matters.
SA matters!
Since 2007, Situational Awareness Matters instructors have helped over 1,300 organizations and have trained more than 80,000 individuals to improve high-risk decision-making, including first responders, industrial workers, military personnel, business leaders, medical professionals, utility workers, highway workers, public transportation operators, school bus drivers, aviation workers, oil refinery process operators, and more. If you work in a high-risk, high-consequence decision-making environment, or you know somebody who does, we're here to help to improve your or their safety and survival, and to help accomplish the most important goal of all, and that is to go home to the ones who love you. I'd like to take a moment to honor and thank the companies, organizations, agencies, and departments that have hosted recent situational awareness training for their team members. The Safety Institute Conference, Syncrude Oil Refinery, the National Volunteer Fire Council Summit, the National Fire Protection Association Conference, the Itasca County Emergency Communications Center, and the Odessa Fire Department. If you're interested in knowing where we're going to be coming up, here's the schedule. On July 11 and 12, I'll be at an industrial facility doing situational awareness consulting in Wisconsin. July 15 and 16 at the Southeast Texas Regional Advisory Council EMS Committee Training Seminars in Houston, Texas. July 24 to 25 at the United States Air Force Academy in Colorado Springs, Colorado. July 26, the North Metro Fire District in Broomfield, Colorado. July 31, the Evans Fire Department in Evans, Colorado. August 8 to 9, Fire Rescue International in Atlanta, Georgia. August 14 to 16, the Lansing Fire Department in Lansing, Michigan. August 17th, the Ingham County Fire Chiefs Association in Michigan. And August 27 to 29, the Voluntary Protection Programs Participants Association National Conference in New Orleans, Louisiana. If you want to see the locations of all the upcoming events, just head over to the SAMatters.com website, and the schedule is under the Training Programs tab on the top of the homepage. If you're interested in hosting a program, just click on the Contact Us tab on the top of the homepage, and I will give you a call. If you want to become part of the SA Matters community of learners, there's several ways you can do that. Check the show notes for how to get connected with us by signing up for our monthly newsletter, by subscribing to the SA Matters radio podcast, by subscribing to the SA Matters TV YouTube channel, and how to follow us on the social media channels of Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, and Instagram. There we share ideas about how to improve situational awareness, how to make better decisions under stress, and how to improve the skills of critical thinking and resilient problem solving. Well, that's it. Episode 274 of the Situational Awareness Matters show is complete. Thank you to our platinum sponsor, Midwest Fire. Thank you to our feature segment sponsor, SimsUShare. Thank you to our associate sponsor, Chief Miller. Thank you to all the companies, agencies, organizations, and associations that have hosted Situational Awareness Matters training programs. Thank you to all the organizations that have hosted the live stream training programs where I come to your organization live via the internet to train your members. Thank you to the more than 3,000 students and graduates of the highly acclaimed Situational Awareness Matters online academy. The feedback I receive from academy graduates is just amazing and very humbling, and I thank you for that. And most importantly, thank you, the listeners and viewers of this show, for sharing some of your valuable time with me today. I really appreciate your support of the SAMatters mission. Be safe out there, and may the peace of the Lord and strong situational awareness be with you always.
You've been listening to the Situational Awareness Matters radio show with Dr. Richard B. Gassaway. If you are interested in learning more about situational awareness, human factors, and decision-making under stress, visit SAMatters.com. If you are interested in booking Dr. Gassaway for an upcoming event, visit his personal website at richgassaway.com.